So a thing happened where I asked for 10 likes on part 1 of Minecraft YouTubers as President to make the part 2 happen, and we got a little more than 10 likes, which made me pretty happy because I'm interesting then, I guess. So, life's been a little rough, that's all I'll say, which is why part 2 hasn't come out for a while. It's been quite a bit since my last upload, and I've been working on like a couple other projects at the same time, school. Well, I'm just excited to be back. So let's get on to part 2 of Minecraft YouTubers as President, where I took some of your suggestions and some new, very interesting ones to just see what happens. So here are the creators we'll be ranking today. Quite a few good ones, and let's just say I'm pretty excited. Okay guys, quick review. If you haven't watched my first video, go watch it so you have more in-depth explanation on these categories. World is utopia, everybody loves them. They've been elected as the entire world leader. Nobel Peace Prize. They've earned the Nobel Peace Prize. Re-elected for a second term, they've done so much good for the US specifically that the people love them. Okay, but no re-election, not bad enough to impeach, but they haven't done any actual good. They've kind of just kept the country together. Impeach/remove from office, people in the US think they do bad things, they want to remove them for that. Assassinated by the UN is like, this person must be stopped. This person is a net negative for the world. Banned from being in history textbooks. Self-explanatory. They are so bad. The UN can't do anything. Nobody can do anything. Well, the UN can never do anything. Not a single other country can do a thing. They have to wait it out and then hope people never remember them so they can never even idolize them. Cool? Okay, so our first one is Wifies. I can't lie. I don't know how he slipped my mind, considering, he's pretty smart and I love his content also, but shout out for the person who recommended this. Wifies does go to Harvard. He's incredibly intelligent. He makes content that is intelligent in itself. And we have the whole in Unstable, we had the whole director arc thing. However, he'd be a better dictator than a president, more so. He's incredibly good in his character and himself at working with other people, but at the end of the day, he is going to want all that power to be used for reasons that aren't necessarily for the nation as a whole, but for his personal gain. He's smart and he has that potential to bring good to the world, but I think things he does with that power wouldn't necessarily be that good. So because of that, I'd put him in impeach/remove from office because just people wouldn't like what he was doing. Okay guys, I'm gonna be so for real. I don't know all that much about Grox. Low-key my brother watches him. I don't think I've ever watched him. Maybe when I was a small child. Kinda just looking at his thumbnails and things. He's I think I can, tax season for the villagers. Part 6? Huh? Part 6? Okay. I think he's a level of worse than Cam18 to a point. And we had Cam18 in impeach/remove from office. Bro, this guy isn't just doing war crimes on the US. He's gonna be doing war crimes on the entirety of the world, bro, somehow. So, not even impeach/remove from office, assassinated by the UN, bro. He's getting everybody. At least we'll probably be out of debt for taxing the people. Okay, next up, Grian. I'm gonna be honest, this is mostly going off him, as life series character. I'm a Hermitcraft LARPer. I've watched 1 episode in total. And by that, I mean, I watched half of 1 episode by Grian and then half of 1 episode by, I think, Wemmbu or Martyn or whatever. I don't know. He's fine. He's not, president material. I think the problem is he wouldn't know what to do. And whoever his VP would be would kind of just have to carry him. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he'd know what he's doing, if that makes sense. So this would lead to him genuinely not being able to cause anything catastrophic. Okay, I know there's that one bit where he just blows up everything in his way, but I think he'd be so pressurized on focusing on how to save the country or how to do anything to the country that he literally would be unable to do anything. He just would be confused. That's so mean. He would be confused as a character. I feel so mean doing all of these. Guys, I'm gonna be so for real. We got Martyn next up. The problem is my girlfriend likes Martyn more than she likes me. So, you know, I don't like Martyn that much. I don't know that much about Martyn. I'm gonna put him in okay because no, you know what? Assassinated by the UN. By me specifically. By me specifically. I'm joining the UN just to assassinate him. So I can win her back. You know, I feel like throughout my entire lifetime as a Minecraft YouTube fan, people have said I've glazed Scott. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't glaze Scott that much. I feel like he's just a pretty cool person, but I don't even glaze him that much. Y'all are just insane. Y'all, I can't lie, I kind of got distracted and started watching Cheap Pickle start streaming, and then I started eating mangoes, and now my voice is terrible because I've been chugging dry mangoes. Anyways, Wemmbu. This is one of the fun ones. I'm gonna do a couple unstable ones because those are pretty fun. The problem with Wemmbu, like, assume this is all unstable, not Lifesteal, is that every time he's tried to rule something, he's just had too many enemies. Yes, he's good at making allies, but first he's gotta make enemies, and he has like a lot that really, really hate him compared to like a lot of other people who have enemies, but they don't kind of hate them as much. Because of that, his international relations game would be pretty weak. Also, we got the whole like probably would bomb every country kind of thing with the orbital strikes. Because of that, I think he would be assassinated by the UN. Okay, Parrot. Actually, Wembu's like kind of my unstable bias. Like, he's who I watch the most. His newest video was genuinely life-changing for me. And this isn't even Parrot Glaze, but I think he's really good as a ruler. Like, and for what he does, yes, he... Spoilers. He did lose the war and stuff, but he was pretty good. I think a lot of people like universally like him, like as like citizens, like in the unstable SMP. So I think he would be getting a Nobel Peace Prize. The problem with, I feel like I started a lot of these, the problem with, but like the thing about FlameFrags is that he isn't meant to be a leader, unlike a lot of these other people, you know, at least tried to be, right? He'd be okay as president, but I think the main issue that would arise is quote unquote honor, because that isn't something you can really have as a politician. And because of that, Flame just wouldn't be getting into that field with the right mindset. So he'd be okay. He wouldn't do anything too drastic, but he also wouldn't be able to have, he just wouldn't be able to be good with the values he holds. I'd like to go back and add, because even if Parrot also has really good values, he understands that sometimes you can't be using honor. Sometimes you do have to do sneaky things to protect people. Spoke is actually an interesting one. I don't watch a lot of Spoke, but from what I do know from a lot of my friends, he used to not be that good as a leader. But with the recent Null arc, I've heard he's like leading Null or whatever. But with the recent Null arc, he's actually been seen as an okay-ish leader, I think. And because he's like able to rally people, and like because he's seen as weak but is actually so much more, I think that is so important for a president. And I think that gets him put in re-elected for second term, because I think he's so much more than he seems to be, which is like actually so good for a politician. And it doesn't seem like it because it's all about big talking and stuff is what people seem to think. But like what happens behind the scenes is also really important. And I think Spoke is good at that. He's good at manipulation, which is such a key factor. And he's good at making friends and allies, and he has a share of enemies, but it's usually genuinely terrible people. And he was terrible, but the fact that he can change and adapt so fast makes him such a good candidate. Oh, Theo! So I fear in order to be a president, you need to not mix up your best friend with some random guy who might have low-key been a spy and try to rob you blind. I just think the people really wouldn't like that. I don't know why, but I get a feeling that like US citizens just don't want to be robbed. He would click on one of those scams and unfortunately get the entire White House system hacked. That's just the truth. I don't make the rules. Yo, editor, I'm here low-key. I kind of forgot that Theo's actually really intelligent and well-versed in economic theory. Like, So, just know that that kind of boosts him up a little, but again, like the thing about like getting the White House hacked, there's no going back from that. But he's pretty smart. He would do good for the country economically. I guess I'm not gonna go back and change it because I'm low-key lazy, but keep that in mind. Alright, next we got LettuceK, and this is definitely like the LettuceK from Unstable. You know, he kind of reminds me of like a certain somebody. I think we actually have a really good reference to go off of for Letty. He reminds me of a certain somebody who was low-key, low-Kirkuinly, if you catch my drift, impeached. So I think for that, just to go like something like historically accurate, if that even makes sense, we'd have to kind of sort of put him in impeach / remove from office. No? Okay, next we got Saparata, Saparata, whatever you know him by. This is also unstable saps, by the way, because I cannot freaking be lying right now. I haven't watched like the civilization-ish video or state SMP or whatever, and I don't know a lot about him, but I think in general, like if he's anything similar to Arachnid, he's a pretty good ruler. He's gotten some good alliances. And I mean, he won a war, and while he isn't a net positive for the entire world, I think he'd be re-elected for a second term because he'd actually be good to like his people, if that makes sense. I honestly don't know why I added Ollie in here. I have no good evidence to back up anything I will be saying, because I think I was literally just like watching him while I was writing the list of who I was gonna put in this video. So that's kind of why he's in here. I fear he wouldn't be good, like at all, like, but not like bad. He just wouldn't be good. I think in this sense, it's somewhat similar to Grian. So but at the same time, like I feel like his people would really like him, and he'd like have like such a diverse range of people, like kind of like his actual like audience. Such a diverse range of people would like him. I think he would be re-elected for second term, but it's not because he necessarily did anything life-changing or like genuinely did so much for the country. It's because people like him, and that is why he would be re-elected for a second term. Alright, next we've got JudeLow. I don't know why I put JudeLow and I did put Sharpie in here. It was kind of random. I just gotta do some strength SMP. Maybe I'll do more next time if there's a part 3. Whoa. And I think my thoughts on this. He's low-key savage. I mean, not a lot of people realize it, but he's so merciless. And while that would be good against enemies, that isn't good in legislature, that isn't good against his people. And because of that, I think he would be impeached or removed from the office, just because I don't think he shows mercy enough as a character. Guys, we have my goat Sharpie. I love Sharpness. I love Sharpness. I love Sharpness. He needs to eat a salad, but gods, I love Sharpness. I think Sharpness is such a balanced character, and I mean, we know JudeLow is smart, but his major flaw is that he doesn't show mercy. But the thing is, Sharpness is pretty smart, just not compared to a lot of the other people on strength that he'd surround himself with. And I think because of that, he'd be okay. Like, just not necessarily awesome, because he doesn't know like anything strategic, but I think like by brute force he could lead an army. He can manipulate people into giving him the things he wants, not on the same level as Spoke, but on a level where he'll leave the US with strength. Get it? I'm so funny. Strength, because he's on the strength SMP. And there you have it, guys. 15 more characters put on that leaderboard. Now, for my part 3, whoa, don't know if I'm even gonna do it, but if I do a part 3, I think it's fair to say, let's go for like 25 likes, maybe? Can we do that? And honestly, I don't know how much more of these I can do. I like to do other things, but I do enjoy them, but at the same time, like, there's so many other ideas I have. So if you guys do want to hear my, like, other video ideas or want me to do them, or you have ideas, put them in the comments and I will do them. I can do, like, anything Minecraft YouTube related. I'm in a lot of the niches. So, you know what? Just like, comment, and subscribe, I guess. Bye-bye.